Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to talk about my favorites of 2021. I know सबने ये video already बना रखा है when 2021 ended, but देर आए दुरुस्त आए. Actually, ये सिर्फ मेरे 2021 के favorites नहीं है because there is a story behind it. So when COVID happened, I never read before. As I have already mentioned in my some of the previous videos, that when I went to Delhi is when I realized that people do read other books other than physics, chemistry, and maths, and I was intrigued by this idea, and I always wanted to explore that side also. So I wanted to read stories and stuff like that. But I never got time to read novels. But when COVID happened, I had a lot of time in my hand, so I thought I'll give a try. So I started with reading classics. Like I started with reading Wuthering Heights, or for example Pride and Prejudice. Wrong choices, guys. Should never, I think no one should start with classics, because they are written in old English. तो जब मैंने इसे पढ़ना शुरू किया, I couldn't even go through one chapter without looking one para without looking for dictionary. So I couldn't finish these books, and I realized एक तो मेरी इंग्लिश अच्छी नहीं, ओके. आप सबको आई थिंक पता चल गया होगा बाई आफ्टर watching my videos, but I'm working on it, okay. So there are mistakes, there are grammatical mistakes, and I know that when I watch the video I realize that I have made a lot of mistakes, but I am working on it, and that is why I started reading also English novels so that I improve on my English. So जब मैंने ये पढ़ा and I couldn't finish these books, तो मेरा मोरल काफ़ी डाउन हो गया था, and I thought I will never be that person which I want to be who reads book. So I stopped reading and I started binge watching series in COVID 2020. Then 2021 happened and I decided that I should give it another try. And I had this book for so long in my rack. I think I bought it somewhere. It was very cheap. So I thought I should give this one a try. And this is the first book that I could finish. And I did not have to look for dictionary. I could understand each and every sentence. It's a biography by APJ Abdul Kalam, our president, and this book is so inspirational. Like, you will read this book and you'll inspire even more to read another book, right? This book is such an inspiring book. I have written a few things here, so I'm gonna read it. So this book has so many inspiring quotes that I have underlined, but there are a few things that I wrote it down just for this video. So there is one quote or one statement that is there in the book which I follow. I knew that I follow this mantra, but I don't think a lot of people will agree with this mantra, but I do follow this. And now APJ Abdul Kalam had said this in this book. More inspiring, right? And the quote is, "A good plan executed violently right now is far better than a perfect plan executed next week." And sometimes I make a video or I do something because I just think it's good, so I'll just do it. I'll never, I'm not a perfectionist. I would say I want to do things, so I'll do it very spontaneous. So I'll just do it spontaneously without waiting for the perfection. So now they have said it, so people should agree. This is my first book, and I will recommend, if you're you're trying to read books, you should start with this. I had another book on my rack, which is Us Against You by Frederick Backman, and I didn't know anything about this book, but I bought it. I think it was, again, there was a deal, and the review was very good, and those were the time when I was trying to read books, so I started buying book. It was before COVID, so I got this delivered, and I bought this book. I had no idea. I just knew that it has very good review, so I also downloaded audiobook, and I read this book through with the help of audiobook also. And after one point, I did not require audiobook at all. I love this book, and I'm so glad that I chose this book. And I finished this book, and then I realized this is actually a sequel of a book called Bear Town. And then I read Bear Town without audiobook, and Bear Town, I read it like a prequel. So I already know what is going to happen later. So I read it as a prequel. It was an amazing experience. I did not like I love this book, and I love Beartown even more. So Beartown is a story based on a small town, like hockey obsessed small town in Sweden, and this town is actually dying. Uh, uh, Factories are closing, shops are closing, people are moving away, but if anything that unites this town is hockey, and the future of or the integrity of this town is it depends on the success of this hockey match, because there is a semi-final, there is a final coming up, and everything depends on this hockey match, and something bad happens and then everything fell apart. There are the most importantly, what I loved about this book is the characters. There are so many characters. There are almost 20 characters, and each and every character has a storyline, has a voice. They have, like, you will love each and every character. There is Benji, whom I love. There is Kevin. There is Maya. There is Bobo. There is Ahmad. There's so many characters, and I love all of them. You will have something to say about each and every character. So you should definitely read this book, or Beartown, or both. You will, if you read one, you will definitely read another one. So the Frederick Backman, the way he writes, is so easy to read. So the second pick is As Against You. Now the third book, I have the list here. So the third book is 1984. Now I started, because now I could finish a book. I asked my friend to find a book for us, and he found this book. So we read this book together. So this story, the story is based on a world in 1984, but the book was written in 1949 by George Orwell, and it was almost 40 years before the timeline of the book. And so the book talks about the world where every move you make is watched. You can't do, you can't say, or you can't think anything without Big Brother watching you. Big Brother has a power over everything. Every house has a television through which he can watch you. There is a thought police. If you are thinking something against Big Brother, you will be taken away from your house. You will be punished. There are a lot of bad things will happen to you. But I loved it. I love this book. The whole scenario, this so bizarre scenario was described through a love story, and I loved the book. I think anyone and everyone should read this book. Then I came across this amazing writer called Taylor Jenkins Reid, and I read Malibu Rising. I loved that book, and then I went through. Whenever I found a writer whose book I can finish and I can read and I love, I will go through Google and look for another books. Like Frederick Backman, I have read a lot of books. I have read his Anxious People. Then I read another book where he wrote about what your son should know about this world. I've been reading this A Man Called Ove. All the books are amazing, but Beartown is my favorite. Then Malibu Rising is what I read first of Taylor Jenkins Reid. Then I went and searched for another book, and I found this book called Daisy Jones and the Six. It's a book about this fictional band in 1970s. They were very famous in 1970s, and the story is about how they fell apart. No one knows why they fell apart. I loved it. I loved it. It was so worth it, and I thought the band was real, even after searching in Google and knowing that it wasn't. But the way the book is written, it felt so real, and it's far too realistic. I was searching for their songs, making a series, and I'm eagerly waiting for the series also. Then I read this book called Barley Fail. It's a Hindi book. It's the first, this one of the Hindi book that I read in 2021. It's a story about a boy, small town. He's from this small village in MP, और वो 12th fail हो जाता है because of English. He's not good in English. He's very much interested in Hindi literature. पर वो हिंदी साहित्य को तो पढ़ रहा है, लेकिन he failed in English and he failed, but I think he gives another exam and he passes somehow. But the story is his struggle, his journey from 12th fail to an IAS officer. Such an amazing story. I felt nostalgic at one point where जब वो कोचिंग के लिए, IAS की कोचिंग के लिए दिल्ली जाता है, and all his journey and the struggle he faced in Delhi, and about the coaching journey, how he interacted with coaching people. I felt very nostalgic, but I've been to Delhi for coaching, looking for a dream, like, and then dream come true. So it was a amazing book. I think if you're Hindi reader, you should definitely read Barley Fail. This book was also suggested by one of my friend who reads a lot and lot of Hindi books. So he suggested this book to me and I read it and I absolutely loved it. A two thriller book and I'm going to recommend both of them. The first thriller book I read was Perfect Daughter. It's about there was a mother and the daughter who was I think 15 or 14. She was the accused, and the story is basically centered around multiple personality disorder disease. And yeah, so this book, if you're ever plan to read, you should always and always listen to this book through audiobook, because then this multiple personality disorder thing will come out alive. You can hear each and individual voices, and then the story will, oh my god, is epic. This and the other book that I read is called Behind Her Eyes. It's a book again. There is a series in Netflix, but when I read this book, there was no series. It's an amazing thriller book, and I decided that I will not watch the series after I watched the review of book and series. So the what people have said is thrill in the book is more. In series, I think they gave lot of things away in the initial parts also. So the end twist will not hit you as much as it will hit you if you read the book. So I read the book, amazing read. So I will not call myself a religious reader, but these are the few books that I will recommend if you are a new reader. I think because I am a new reader, these are the few books that I think I could read easily. Even with my bad English, I could finish these books, and I think I'm improving. I am working on it. So the first tip is, do not start with classics like I did. It will kill your enthusiasm for reading books. But now, when I have read so many books, like I did this challenge in 2021, which is called 21 books in 2021. I read 21 books. In 2022, I got really busy, so I read one book per month. I gave another chance to this book, and I appreciated this book more than I did when I read it for the first time. I think the book is extremely well written, although it's old English, but once you know the meaning of these words, you'll realize they wrote the way they wrote. And yeah, so but I will not recommend these books if you're reading it. You're a new reader, so go through, bear down, read simple books like Wings of Fire, right? Okay, so I'm going to end this video, and if you like these books, please like, share and subscribe, and also comment in the comment section which is your favorite book, which book you are planning to read. Bye, thank you.